Hey everybody, I am a few minutes late and you're going to hear a printer in the background a little bit because we're still printing off all of these sheets that I made. I honestly did not realize or remember that I had made so many sheets. So Meadow is she's printing them out for me. You'll hear it in the background. So we will just start with the most simple one there is. And I will, hey Sharon, hey Mariah, sorry I'm late you guys. So, and hopefully the printer's not making too much noise. Well, our printer is a little bit loud. But I thought we just, if you guys don't have these practice sheets, they are down below. And they're all in a zip file. I think there's 14 different, I can't believe it, there's 14 different sheets. So if you want them, please feel free to grab them. And I'm going to actually start with red markers, like bright red markers, just so that y'all can see what I'm doing. So, Meadow, I think you have the other markers, don't you? The R05 and the R29. Oops, sorry. Thank you, ma'am. And I'm going to take this one too, R59. So I'll start with these ones first. They're all just really kind of dark so that you can see them. One thing I wanted to tell you guys too, before I really got started and forgot to tell you that after this, Brian is going to be doing a live with some of our products. So after we're done here for the night, if you guys want to, and I hope you guys will, but we're going to go over and watch Brian live with some of our stuff. So let's see, I've got R05, R17, R29, and R59. Meadow, there's only 2 left, just so you know. So I'm going to start with R29 first. And I know a lot of people will actually go through and like draw a line with a pencil so that they don't go through the middle for like the shine and stuff like that. For the traditional anime type hair. But I don't do that. I think you guys know that I don't do that. So what I do is I just start at the crown. And I just put some lines in. And I usually do really thin lines. Thanks, baby girl. I usually do really thin lines. That way it looks more like strands of hair. If you have problems getting the thin lines, one thing that I've told people in the past, let me grab a pen, or a piece of paper, I already have a pen. But one thing that I do is I practice really super light. I don't hold my pen really tight. This one needs to be refilled and changed. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So, and I just go really light and I pull down. But you'll notice, I know a lot of people push away from them when they're coloring. Let's see if I can do this. So I can't get really thin lines when I push away. This is about as thin as I can go. So you can tell that there's a difference between the two. And I think Jennifer Dove says it the best, that you're either a pusher or you're a puller. And I am definitely somebody who gets those nice thin lines when I pull. I have had people, when I taught full classes before, tell me that they push away, but when they want, and they would get upset that I got the thinner lines. So I showed them to either push or to pull. And she started pulling like this, and that's how she achieved the thinner lines.
Sharon says I prefer says I push it away, but I never tried the other way.
Well, if you want, I mean, try it. I mean, you can tell that I definitely do. Dear Lord, Meadow, can you change this for me? That is so bad.
Is it the thing? Or?
Yeah, it's getting goopy and stuff, and it's dirty. So you can tell that. I mean, I do have thin lines still, but you can tell I get thinner lines by pulling instead of. I mean, it still goes thin, but I have a really thick start. So that is one thing that you can try, especially when it comes to hair. If you want some thinner lines, that's the only thing. That's the only way I can say it. And then I know a lot of people. Meadow does it too. They hold their pen down here, or they hold it like right here, which gives you more of like. You can see my lines. Whoops, no, you can't see. My lines are a little thicker because I feel like I want to put more pressure on the pen. And when you put more pressure, see, like here, if I go thin and then I push down, it gets thicker. The more pressure you put, the thicker it's going to be. So I tend to hold mine up here. That way, I mean, and it took practice. I'm not going to lie. It took a long time of holding it like this in order to be able to have the control that I felt that I needed in order to have it this way. But having it this way also made it to where I don't hold it really tight, and then that way I can use it like a paintbrush. You know, just nice and easy like a paintbrush. So that's, you know, another thing is just holding it real light, touching the paper real light, trying not to put a whole lot of pressure on it. Let me zoom in a little bit so you guys can see better what I'm doing on the paper.
It says I struggle to hold higher up on the marker.
Yeah, everybody does. Even Meadow does too. Meadow, can you pop on that light? It looks dark to me. Is it dark to you? I don't know. Hey, Brian! I told everybody that we need to come and see you after we're done here. Can I have my marker back, Meadow? Meadow's doing some, like, it looks like she's doing surgery on my marker. So, do you guys have any more questions before I get, like, really started? Or do you have any more questions about how I hold my pen to get the thin lines or anything like that? While I'm waiting on, I'm like stalling. Can you tell I'm stalling for Meadow?
Sorry, this is really bad.
Did you just say my marker was really bad, Meadow?
Yeah.
That's not nice, man.
You filthy.
You use the markers more than I do.
Not this one.
Thank you, Brian. You are so good at that, Brian. I always forget to say that. I always forget to say, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I always forget. I don't know why. Can I just have the marker? I just want the marker. That's all I want is the marker. Meadow's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. She's refilling my R29 so we can do red so y'all can see it. How are y'all doing anyways? Mariah, I saw the very, very cute little beach girl that you did today. Actually, I think I saw her a while ago, but Meadow saw her today and reminded me of her. I thought she was really cute. You got it, Meadow?
I think so. I lost count, so I just gotta watch it.
So how do you guys refill your markers? Do you weigh them, or do you how many drops you put in? Meadow's over there counting and counting and counting. Girl, your whole hand is going to look like you murdered somebody since you didn't use the tweezers. Thank you. Okay, so now I have a marker. Sharon says she weighs hers. She would lose count. I lose count too. So I'm going to go ahead. Another way that I get, you know what, I just thought of this. Another way that I get the thin lines, and you guys are going to say that I'm crazy, and that's fine. I already know that the white coats from the asylum are coming to get me with a nice huggy jacket, but I don't refill mine all the way. My pens are hardly ever super, super juicy. I don't like them really juicy because then more ink comes out, and that's how they throw up all over your paper. And so I only put anywhere between 45 and 50 drops into my marker. I don't fill it all the way. So I remove the chisel nib too. So, oh, this is so much better, Meadow. Thank you so much. But I'm just going to go and I'm going to do some thin lines of red on her hair. And you'll see I have a hard time going this way, but I go this way better. I don't know what I draw like that too. I actually draw, most of the time I draw upside down because it's easier for me. I'm going to move this business over here. Here we go. I'm just doing some flicks back there. So right here, you'll see underneath the bangs that there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of dark because the bangs overhang the hair. So I'm just going to go right there. And then I'm going to flip her around. Because remember, I am a puller, not a pusher. And I'm just kind of going in, just little pieces. And you can see I'm doing like 2 or 3 little bits in between each little section of hair. So, and we have a little bit more of a section here because it's put behind her ear. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this part. So what is everybody's interest in me doing hair? Because I know a couple people, and I don't remember everyone who asked me to do a live on hair. So is it the colors of hair or is it the different types of hair? So, and I'm going to get the bottoms here, and I'm only coming up part way. And I will tell you guys, I have to thank you for being so patient when I sit here and color. And it takes me like an hour or longer to color one image because we've been coloring the upcoming April release images, and we've been coloring for our Masculine May camp. And it's taken me like a whole day to do one. A whole day. To sit there and color one stamp set. It's insane. So right here, I'm just getting a little bit more
Sharon says different
behind her ear. What?
Sharon says different types for me, and Mariah says both for me.
Okay, so this will probably we can do this over a few lives. So how about tonight I'll do the red markers and we will do different types of hair. And then next week we can do different colors and like different other things. Because you can tell if you downloaded these and print them out, I have little boxes here for you to put, what colors you used. And you can just, like, right now I'm using R29. So I can put that there, and then we can put what order we used them in, and we have 4 different ones, so you can keep track of the different colors that we used. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm looking for any other places that I would really have shadow. And now that I'm looking, there's a little piece right here that's kind of behind the bangs and behind, like behind this right here. It all like kind of goes behind her ear. Thank you, Meadow. Now I have cleanish caps. My markers are so old. So now I'm going to go ahead. Let's see. Sorry, I hope you guys aren't getting like seasick or anything with me moving this around. But I'm going to use R17. And Meadow might have another marker to do. But now I'm going to try and go in between all of the R29 bits. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and go in between. And again, I'm trying to do as thin of lines as possible. And there's a little strand right here that would be a little bit darker or lighter. And I'm basically just going right where I went with the R29. And some cases I'm going over the 29, and other cases I'm trying not to. Like this right here, I'm just going to fill this bit in because that's the back of the head. We're not going to get much of anything there. Turn this around. And I'm just going to go again in between, and I'm only going about halfway. So remember that part where I said, oh, people draw the little line here for the highlight? You can see that it's coming through right here by just going from the top to the bottom. See, and then it comes naturally by going halfway in. I'm going to put a little bit more here. And then I'm going to start coming up from the bottom. I am going a little bit slower because this is red, so I'm really sorry about that. So you can see it's kind of coming together. That one needs a little bit more. And then we'll get this side. Meadow, when I'm done with this one, will you refill R17? Okay, so that was R17. I'm going to give this one over to Meadow so she can refill it. And then I'm going to use R05. And I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just going to be filling in the white bits, you know, where I see white. So right here, you can kind of see that my lines are a little bit thicker than normal. And that's because this one is a little bit juicy. And if it's a little bit too juicy when I'm doing my hair, I just pop off the other cap and it kind of balances it all out. Actually, you know what? If you have a Ronald McDonald stamp, I think this is a really good set of colors. Or maybe an It stamp. That clown from It. So just coming up, getting these ones in there. And normally I fill the whole thing in, but today I'm not going to, just so that you guys can see how that looks. At least not on this hair. So this is probably, I want to say this is the easiest hair that I created the sheets for. Thank you, Mariah. This is this color combination is what I usually use when I color almost anything red. Not everything, but most everything, just because I really like how nice and bright it becomes. So for some contrast, I'm going to use my R59. And this is, I'm going to use very little of, or at least try to. I always say that and then I never do. I always end up using like a whole bunch of it. So I'm just going to put in some contrasting colors here, little streaks. And where this is going to come in handy the most is places like right here where her bangs kind of overlap the back of her hair. So I'm just going to color that in, and now that brings the bangs forward. So, and then right here at her ear, you have a little piece here, and we have a piece here that kind of goes back behind both bits of hair. I need to take my glasses off. But then you have these right here that also come down. So I'm just like going right along the black lines of the hair to kind of make those stand out. And then right along her ear to make her ear come forward. And then you can see like right here, there's another strand of hair that's kind of behind the rest. So, and then right here, again, the hair is coming forward, overlapping this hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a line right along here, which will make that come forward. And then same right here. Bringing that same piece of hair to make it look like it's coming forward as well. So I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to get right next to her ear. Just come up a little bit. And bring these lines out a little bit more. Hopefully my hand isn't getting too much in the way. And then right here, her bangs end. So I'm going to put a little line just right on the outside of that black line to make her bangs come forward again. But I'm also going to put a little bit in where all the little jagged bits of her hair are. And then I will move. So right here you can see where I've brought this hair down a little bit further than the hair that's here. So I'm going to put a little bit of a line in between there. Just to make sure that they come forward. And then right here you can tell this hair is supposed to be in the back. So we'll put a line just to put it in the back. And you can do that with just about any, if you want to make hair, certain pieces look like they're further in the front than other pieces, you can do that with almost any piece of hair you want. Especially if it's drawn that way, it makes it a little bit easier. But this is why I do my absolute darkest color last, so that I can get all those little contrasting pieces in there. And then right here, this is obviously going to be the furthest away. And there's our hair. Now, one thing you can do, or I do sometimes too, because I don't like things to be super high contrast, is I will go back to the R05 and I'll just kind of go over the darkest color. And if I decide I don't like the white in there, then I can cover that up too. But I don't really pay attention when I'm doing this part. I'm just kind of flicking in areas that I want to just blend that R59 so that it's not so dark, or, maybe filling a spot that I missed, or filling a spot that, like, I decided I don't really want that much white in there. And you can see by going over the R59, it just kind of blends it and makes it look even more, to me, it looks prettier when it's smoother. So there is, kind of basically just a straight kind of bob haircut, which I think is the easiest. Did anybody download the practice sheets? If so, let me know if there's one that you particularly want to go over. So I know, because I don't want to be doing ones that you guys don't want to do. Because we've got this one, which is kind of like messy ponytails. We've got a grumpy old man beard. We have a nice loose braid. We have tight curls, and we have loose curls, ringlets, and then a bun. And then I thought for fun we could just put in some hair that's kind of 80, going back to the 80s. Although I think that hairstyle is coming back in. So, and then we've got the long hair with the wave, so we can figure out, where it goes. And a ponytail. We got some more buns, messy ponytails, and a little hair back. So I see ringlets, curls and ringlets. So I'll do that next. Okay. My fingers, they're not working. So here we go. So I will go ahead and do ringlets first, and we're going to do that in red too. That way y'all can see what I'm doing. So it'll more than likely be the same the same combination. I'll start with my my darkest color, not my contrast, but my darkest color, and then work back. Sorry, I had to get a drink of water. Oh, yay! Ringlets! Nice! What are they called over in Spain, Mariah? What do you call ringlets? Because I know very, 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 very little Spanish. But we have Duolingo. So I did download Spanish on my Duolingo. So I'm trying to learn a little bit. But it's going to take me a while. So I'm going to start with R29. Ooh, look at how nice that writes now. Thank you, Meadow. So ringlets, they're kind of the same as, well, they are, but they aren't. They're the same as the straight hair that we just did. The way that I do them, I don't know how everyone else does them. I haven't watched anybody else. I'm sorry. But the way that I do them is I usually you can go in, here's another trick. What?
She says it's a bit difficult. It's hair of the zones.
Okay, I'm going to have to listen to that one later on a how do you pronounce. So sometimes if you're having trouble where your shadows go, and I do this with a lot of things, is I use my lightest color, or I even use like a T1 or a C1 or something like that. Don't try to pronounce it. Am I going to hurt myself, Mariah? So, but I will just go with my lightest color and kind of pick out where my shadows are going to be and kind of draw those in first. And sometimes that makes it easier. So I'm just going to go through with my R05. I'm not really coloring. Like I said, I'm just picking out shadows. And where I would want them to be. So this one is a little bit behind the other ones. Let's see. So you can see it's just kind of, picking and choosing. And I never tell somebody that you have to know, like, oh, your shadows have to be straight on or anything like that. Because a lot of the times I will say, oh yeah, I'm going to do my shadows from this side, and then I forget what I'm doing because I get too, I don't know what you want to call it, but I get too focused, I guess, on where my shadows should be. And so it stresses me out. So I just do my shadows where I want them to be, and I just let the drawing or whatever the image is, I let it decide, just inspire me and decide where I'm going to put things. But most of the time, if I'm going to do shadows, then,
Megan Cooper says hello, everyone.
Hey, Megan. If I'm going to do shadows, I'll usually try to put it to where it's going to hit them on the face.
Mariah says I always forget the shadows and sometimes the finished image don't make sense.
You know what? If it makes sense to you, that's fine. I am not. I'm not a professionally trained artist or anything like that. everything I do, everything that I have learned has been self-taught. The only classes I really went to was Copic classes to become an instructor, and that was it. So I just like to have fun. And I think if you're too focused on shadows and stuff like that, it doesn't become fun anymore unless you are that obsessed with getting the shadows right and that is for you, then go for it. But so for this one, if I go towards her face, the shadow would be coming this way. So, but as you can tell, if I go that way, this right here is going to get shadow or is going to get light. And then everything here is going to have nothing but a shadow. So, but you can also have it to where the light is coming like from both sides behind her. And then this right here is going to get some light too. So it really just depends on what you want to do and how you feel about that drawing. Again, like I said, all I ever do is I just let the drawing inspire me as to what I'm going to do. So for my ringlets, I've kind of drawn out where I want my shadows. So now I can go back with my R29, which I already have that down. And I can just go right, because it makes it to where I don't forget. Because I don't know about you guys, but I get into coloring and I'm just like, woo-hoo-hoo, doo-dee-da, and I'm not paying attention, and then all of a sudden my shadows are going every which way but loose. So this just, kind of mapping it all out helps me remember what I'm supposed to be doing versus what my brain wants me to do. So now I can just get these shadows in here.
Megan says, "Doody-da." Yes, exactly.
Yeah, completely. I mean, you're just rolling along and, maybe you're listening to music, or like me, you've got Scooby-Doo playing in the background for some noise, and you're just, your brain just takes over kind of, and or maybe takes a vacation. I'm not sure. But yeah. And then you're just kind of like, huh, what happened there? So that is why I make a map of what I'm going to do, especially when it comes to ringlets or whatever Mariah called them. That I'm going to break myself if I pronounce it. So I will leave that to Mariah.
Oh, the Manium. She said that, "Hey, this is Janelle. LOL. I'm on my hubby's account. It's nice to
put
see your pics."
Oh my god. Okay. I was just like, huh. Wonder who that is. Well, hello, Janelle.
That's funny.
So just gonna go ahead and stick that in there. So now that I have, to me, this is the hard part. So now I can just go ahead and stick the rest of this in here. Let's see. Get all these little cute ringlets in here.
Janelle says, "I'm here blending distress inks while watching you."
Blending distress inks? That's something Meadow would be doing. She loves the distress inks. So just getting the bottom half of all the hair. And then I will go up and do the crown. Get the bangs. You know what? This thing of hair would look so cute pink, like a hot
Yeah.
pink. I don't know why ringlets make me think of either Little House on the Prairie or hot pink. So now I'm going to do the other half again, just bringing, I'm only doing a few flicks and making sure they're not like super close together, and trying to make sure I'm not, just death gripping my marker. I had a friend that used to do that all the time, and I'm like, it's a marker, it's a paintbrush, not a crayon, a paintbrush. That seemed to help too. Okay, so this right here, I don't know if anybody else has issues with that, because I even have issues with them. But this part of the hair always, I'm like, oh, it's so hard. So all I do is I kind of sketch down, and I make a line right here just so that I don't go out. And then I go from this line and pull it down. I don't know if that helps anybody else or not. Hopefully it does. But I know I have issues with that, so I always try to share the things I have issues with. And then I missed a little bit of a shadow right here on this side. I noticed like the little inside bits of the hair.
Mariah says yes, it helps.
So now we're going to do R17. And I'm just going to leave the tops here. I'm going to go ahead and try. I put too much right here, but that's okay. Just going to go ahead and fill in little bits of the red. Try to get the white bits. And pull it out just a little bit further. Okay, and I'm going to turn it to the side. And I'm going to get some more of... Now, because it's ringlets, you don't need a whole heck of a lot in these to make, to fill it up. So I just usually put like a couple little flicks in there, because we want to leave a little bit left for our lightest color. Except for in this one, because this one you can tell is behind these two. So I'm not leaving a whole lot of anything there. And most of the time, so that I can get, because you want it to look round as well. So I kind of do, like when I'm doing the hair, I'll kind of, go in the direction that I want it to go in. I don't want to just, do it straight, because then it looks like it has no life to it. So I will actually go ahead and just kind of do it at a curve. And that's another reason why I go from side to side on curls. So let me flip this around, because now I'm going to go this way, because my lines were getting a little bit thick while I was trying to push. We know I'm not a pusher kind of colorist, so I have to flip my paper. It's probably one of the only bad things about not doing very well as a pusher and only pulling, is I have to flip my paper all the time. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the bottom half of her bangs and the other bits. And I know it looks too like I'm doing, like I'm really touching my paper a lot, or doing like a lot of flicks, but I'm really not. What's happening is I'm going so light on the paper that I'm not always actually touching the paper. I kind of miss. So I have to go back to get the flick in there. There we go. I'm really liking this color for hair. I might be using it a little bit more, even though I never thought that I would. So now I'm going to use RO5. Let me put that in there. There we go. Whoops. And now we're going to be filling in a lot more of the white. And this, because we're just filling in white, and I don't have to worry about a shadow, I'm just kind of willy-nilly putting this in there. I'm just kind of doing a circle back and forth, just kind of like that. And that will blend the other colors in as well.
Dawn says, oh, hello, Christina and friends.
Hello, Dawn. What are we having for dinner? I was actually talking to my friend Kimberly last night because she said she might pop in towards the end. And she was saying, I was telling her about you and how we always talk about food. I was like, you're not going to want to miss the conversation because we always want to know what delectable thing that Dawn is making.
She says, looks like a lobster roll.
Oh, you mean woman. I love lobster. Love it, love it, love it. Although my husband did take us to,
She says,
when was that? Tuesday? Monday. Tuesday? Monday. It was Monday. He took us to a Japanese steakhouse and they made lobster for me and I was just in heaven.
Dawn says burgers and waffle fries, super easy. Mariah says, well, guys, I'm going to bed. Have a good afternoon, everyone. I will watch the replay later this week.
Sleep sweet, Mariah.
Good night, Mariah.
And burgers. Who's doing burgers and waffle fries?
That was Dawn.
Wait, you're doing lobster roll and...
No, she said it looks like a lobster roll.
Oh, it looks like a roll. Okay. Oh, you're teasing me, girl. So now we're going to do R59 for our contrast. Okay. So contrast works just like the other one. It helps to bring, the things that you want. Like right now it looks kind of flat to me. So this is going to make it to where it kind of stands out a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a line very carefully because this is really dark. Right there. And I'm just going to follow the edge of the ringlet all the way down. Just right on the black. So I don't know about you guys, but it looks like it brought it a little bit more forward for me.
Priscilla says, hi, Christina and Meadow. Hi.
Hi, Priscilla, honey. And then I'm going to put it right along here just to get it to come forward more. And then you can also put it like in the ringlet itself to make parts of the ringlet seem like it's coming forward. So, and then I'm going to put a little bit more on this ringlet because this ringlet is definitely in the back. So I'm just going to do some darker flicks of hair in there. And then this, I definitely want to put a little bit more in here. How's that working so far? Does it look like that one's coming to the front so far?
Yeah.
So put a little bit of shading on this one. And this one will make it look like it's a little bit further back from this one, but still towards the front once we get to right here. And I'm just going to put a little bit.
Dawn says looks fabulous.
Thank you, honey. So I want the bow to come forward too, so I'm going to put a little bit more right here.
And Janelle says very nice.
Thank you, sweetheart. So I'm also, because I want this one to be further forward than this one here, I am going to go ahead and put just a line of the 59 right here. So it'll come forward. And then we'll put, from that line, I will flick it out some little strands of hair. Sorry, I'm trying to turn it as slow as possible. And then you can tell right here, this right here is going to be darker. And then this part is going to go towards the back. So basically anything you want to go towards the back, contrast is really good to use for that. So when I do the bow, if I did the bow, then I would also put a line across the top of here as well to get this, to make the bow go back further than this ringlet here. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. So sorry. And I want to get this right here to make this ringlet look further forward. And I'm going to make this, give that a little bit of shadow. But when it comes to really super dark colors, you just kind of gotta, like I'm going really slow right now, just to make sure that, oops, it'd be better if I made sure I was still on screen, huh? So put a little bit of a line here to bring that forward. And we will put some contrast here to make that look like it's really, like real behind this one, further behind. And then I'm just going to put one in between with all of the little places where the hair is coming apart a little bit. Here we go. And I'm just going to get all the pieces that look like they should be back behind and just put a little bit of contrast on that one. So there we go. What do y'all think?
Looking nice.
So, see, and then we'll go back with the R05 again, which is your lightest color, whatever color combinations you're using. And you don't have to do this. If you like the dark contrast, just leave it where you're at, but you can also just smooth it out a little bit by going to your lightest color and just kind of swiping over it. I'm not trying to be all careful or anything like that. I'm just kind of swiping over all of those little dark bits.
Ryan says, I love it. Dawn says, I think I could never make mine look like that. Looks awesome.
Yeah, you can, Dawn. You so can. Look at the way you cook. You could do anything. It's taken a lot of practice, believe me, a lot of practice. I think being on design teams and making my own stamps and stuff like that has really, because you're basically, I'm coloring every single day. So,
Megan says, love that the highlights aren't taking over.
what, Meadow?
Megan says, love that the highlights aren't taking over.
Yeah, I like to have a little bit of contrast. Like right now, I like that the curls kind of look bouncy. So, I don't, it's just everybody has their own style. So, and I was never a kid to just leave white bits on a page. I always colored in the entire page, like always. So there's ringlets. Now I can do some little loose curls.
She said, looks more natural.
It really does. To me, it does. Thank you. It's nice to have somebody that thinks the same way about certain things. So, loose curls can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but loose curls kind of make me think of, what's that saying? Something hair don't care,
Messy hair don't care.
messy hair don't care kind of a thing. I know I have a cousin who has naturally curly hair, like tight curly hair. And on her, it looks really pretty, but she hates her hair because she said it takes so much work and so much product because of her natural curls. Um, so while we think it's pretty, it might not be to other people. Um, but the grass is always greener. So what I usually do with just loose curly hair is I will color in my lightest color first. Whoops, I didn't put it in here. So R05. And I'm kind of just going in circle motion, but I'm not really paying attention too much of exactly how the curls are going or anything like that. Just coloring it in. And one thing that's nice, it's drawn on here, but to do curls that kind of like, so most people will stay within the lines when they're doing curls, but curls they don't really stay in the lines unless you got a whole lot of product in there. So going out a little bit sometimes makes it look a little bit more natural. So like up here, I stayed in the lines, but if I just went out just a little bit, it just looks like there's some stray little hairs. Or maybe her little bit of curls goes a little bit crazier than what she normally wants it. So that's my R05. And with curls, I tend to go backwards. Normally, I color dark to light and then back to dark. Curls, I go light to dark. So now I'm going to use R17. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do less strokes. So I'm just going to kind of go over it. And you can see that R17 and R05 are rather close together. You can see that here. But there is a little bit more definition. Not sure if you can see it. I can see it. Can you see it, Meadow?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
And again, all I'm doing is this. Just kind of whimsical, just whatever. That's all I'm doing. I'm doing squiggles. And right now it looks like a whole lot of nothing. This would be a good one for Ronald McDonald too.
Dawn says reminds me of Annie.
Oh yeah. Or Raggedy Ann. I don't know why I keep going to Ronald McDonald or it. Ugh. So now with R29, I'm going to be going even more, but you can see it's darker, but I'm not filling everything in, and it's getting a little bit, the color is thinner, but I can still see the R05 in the background. I'm still going out of the lines a little bit.
Brian says, yep, little orphan Annie.
Yep. Now I'm going to have the song Tomorrow stuck in my head. So now I'm going to use 59. Now 59, you could kind of go along with the black lines that are there. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, because the black lines kind of serve as another, more curls. So you can really see them again. Dawn, you're a stinker. I just looked up and saw your little music notes. You are such a stinker. I love you. So I'm just going to go real light because we don't want to lose anything, and we don't want to lose those black lines because it serves as more squiggles. So this is how I do curls. I'm kind of a no-nonsense kind of, easygoing kind of colorist. I know there is a bazillion. I mean, seriously, there's so many different ways to do curls. So maybe a few more up here. Go out a little bit. And there's your curls. I mean, easy peasy, nice and easy. And I don't even go back with the R05 or anything with that one. I just leave it, as it is. And you just have a little fro. But it's nice if you have, really contrasting colors to each other. If you have a lot of colors that are right on top of each other, or this, really close in color, it's not going to pick up that much. So that's why it's nice to have a definite, medium dark and darker. Um, so that's just curly curls. Where? So I have these curls too, which are essentially the same, but I wanted to show you something with these ones. So this one, it's going to be the same thing, your lightest. I'm going to use my lightest to my darkest. So R05, but this one, I'm just going to completely color in. And I'm just using the side of my marker so I can go super fast and color these in. Kind of going around her ear. Okay, so I've got all that. And I can just go ahead and color this in. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the R17. Okay. But this time, instead of doing squiggles, I'm going to do dots. And I'm going to start out with really, really big dots. And I'm going to put them together, close together. Not like super, super close, but close. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm about like this. Okay. And I'm just going to go all over her hair. Or his hair. I don't know. I refer to almost everything as a her. I mean, my car is even a girl. So just putting those in. This way to me takes a little bit longer. I think that's why I don't use it as much. Okay. And then I can take my R29 and I'm going to do the same thing, but my dots are going to be a little bit smaller. Okay. And I'm just going to fill in, fill it in. And I'm still making sure that you can see the R05 and the R17 in the background. I make such an utter mess whenever I'm doing curly hair. And if you're doing this and you're using colors that don't really blend all that well, if you go over it first before you put any color down, if you use the colorless blender first, the 0, it will actually blend your colors together as you're doing all of this. And it just kind of helps you out with the blending.
Dawn says, oh, great to know.
Yeah, it's really super nice to have the colorless. Let's see, and then R59. There we go. Now I'm going to use dots again. Imagine that. But they're going to be even more, I'm going to use even fewer of these, and I'm going to try and use them just where the darker bits would be a little bit. And I'm going to outline the ear so it looks like it goes behind, even though I've already colored it completely red almost. I mean, it looks like somebody cut him on his tip of his ear. So I'm going to go where the black lines are.
Janelle says, oh, well, I use the dot technique when I color bears and other furry critters.
That's what I'd use it for too, is for bears and, you know.
Fuzzy things.
Yep, fuzzy things. Make them look fuzzy. But you can use this for hair too. Especially, this is a great technique to use. Like if you have an image that is for a very short-haired African American person, this works really, really well. I almost said rubbernecker. Brass and Bliss, they've changed their name. The old rubbernecker stamps, I used to work for them, and I colored all the product labels for all their older African American stamps. So you'll see a lot of my coloring on their website. So there is some fuzzy red hair that's supposed to be curly. So let me get a drink of water again. Where are we at, Meadow? I don't want to mess up Brian.
5:19.
Okay, so we still got a little bit before we all go over and see Brian live. Thank you, honey. So we've gotten fuzzy curly hair, loose curly hair. We have ringlets, which I really love how that came out. You guys don't even know. I'm going to be, you know what? I might have to use that hair on one of my next stamp sets because I'm really liking that hair. So how about braids? Does anybody want to do braids? So let's see. We've got braids, we've got beards, got loads of things. Got this old man's scraggly beard, some loose pigtails. Let's see, I'm trying to remember everything that we had here. Oh, here's one we should do really fast since we were just doing the fuzzies. Because I think this, I don't know, is this hairstyle coming back? Did it ever leave? So this one, here we go. The 80s hair. I'm going to start out with R05, but I'm just going to do this fuzzy wuzzy bit here. So, and I'm just going to go ahead, actually, never mind, I'm not going to do dots at first. I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in. because it's not going to be long hair. It's not going to really be super, you know, like short hairs. It's just like stubble. But I've seen some girls starting, it makes me think of Cyndi Lauper. And I've seen some girls cutting their hair like that again. There should probably be an ear right there, but that's okay. Braids. Okay, we'll do braids next. Definitely. I just wanted to do this one since we were doing the fuzzy hair. So, I mean, it's basically like the fuzzy hair. So I'm just going to go ahead, but I'm using really small dots this time. Because like I said, it's just like, it's pretty much stubble. So I guess I really didn't have to do the R05 in there. If it's just stubble, you could actually just color the skin, wait for it to dry, and then do the little stubbly bits. And R29. I'm going to make it a little bit darker up here at the crown of the head. Here we go, just super. Just getting that in there. Almost done. I think that's the only thing that I don't like about little tiny dots is it feels like it takes forever. But see, like I said on the one, if you wanted to just leave it since it was stubble, you could just go in like this, color it skin, and then just go in and do little stubble bits. I think it's just going to depend on what kind of look you're going for. So I'm going to use R59 and I'm going to go up, make it kind of really kind of tight and close up here. And then just have it get a little bit more loose or further apart, I guess I should say, down towards the bottom. And then you've got the stubble hair on the side as to where you can do, say, go back to R29, leave that open for R59. And then you can just go back to doing and filling this part in. Oops, I need to stay on screen. This would be fun too if you did it like two different colors, like maybe black and then like pink or blue or something. I think that would be a lot of fun. Ooh, or red and orange. That would be fun too. So I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to get the tips of the hair. You have short little crazy tips as well as longer ones. Here we go. I'm going to go right along there just really fast. Kind of crazy punk rock hair. I guess is it still called skaters? I don't know if it's still called skaters. They would do their hair like this sometimes, I think. There we go. Kind of pull this one down a little bit more. Let's see, and that was R29. And then we're going to do R17. And I'm just going to pull that out. And since this hair is kind of crazy, I'm not really too worried about, where, I don't know, where my flicks are going, I guess you could say. I am going to put some right here, though, because that's going to need some contrast underneath all the little flicks here to make them come forward. So let's see, get some in there. Turn it around and get everything from the bottom. What is the biggest thing that everybody has? If you feel that you have trouble doing hair, what is the thing that you think is the hardest? There we go. And then we're going to go to R05. And I'm just going to, again, just kind of fill this in.
Time to make dinner. Sharon says working out what to add shadow on long wavy hair. And Megan says not making the shadows too dark.
Oh, yeah. I have issues with both of those things. So, Sharon, after I do have one that's long wavy hair. And I know that people have problems with that one. So I did make a thing for that. So as soon as we're done with braids, we will go ahead and do the long wavy hair. Hopefully we'll still have time. We will though. Braids go pretty darn fast. So now I'm going to use R59. And I'm just going to go ahead and get some right here at the roots. And then this is, again, is a matter of, what is in the front and what is in the back. So This is obviously in the front. So this piece of hair right here is the one that's most in the front. So I'm going to go right along the black line. And I'm just going to put in a line of contrast here. And then this one is second, but it's still in front of this one. Although it looks like, let's see, how did I do that? Yep, okay, so we're going to put black line here. And this little hair is coming out in front. So that one is coming in front. This one is still behind right here, but it's in front of this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little line here. And I did make this just a little bit thicker because we are getting towards the back. And then I'm also, because this one comes in front of everything that's right here, so I'm making a line all the way down. And then this needs a line underneath here and right there. So I'm just following all of the lines and how they were drawn. So this right here, there's a little tiny piece right here, but that's in the very back, so I just colored it in. And then we're going to put some here. And that's pretty much the end of it. So now that I have all that, I can go ahead and start putting in some little tiny flicks coming down from the little, I don't know, the hair that's all like free, kind of flippy kind of hair. I don't know what you call it. What would you guys call that? These little flips right here.
Swoops.
Swoops? That's what you'd call it, Meadow?
Yeah.
Little swoops. Okay, and then I'm going to come from the top as well. And then I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to get the tips, but I'm going to try and stay away from the edges where there is contrast. Because if I go right up to the edge, then it's going to just blend all in. So I'm trying not to put as much as, I'm trying to put as little as possible, I should say. But I'm also coming up just slightly from all the little swoops or flips or whatever you want to call them. Oh gosh. Girl, you're supposed to be telling me when I'm going out of screen.
Oh, sorry. You were in screen just a second ago.
There we go. Okay, I think I got everything on that one. So now a little bit more of RO5, just to smooth it out. And it kind of brings the dark bits out a little bit more too, to give it more of a shadow, which I like as well. There we go. And then that's R05. Guess I should put the R29 in there too. Or 59, not 29. Good gravy. There we go. Yep, definitely using this red on something, Meadow. I'm going to tell you right now. So, let's see, we've got braids. And I think, nope, that's the beard. Let me see here. Sharon, is this the hair you were talking about? Like the waves, like, whoops, the waves like this?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do that one next. Let me open another water. Definitely talking too much here. So the braids, I'm going to do exactly the way that we did the ringlets. I'm going to use my R05 just to map it out of what I'm going to do. So everywhere there's a fold is where there will be some shadow. So right here next to this fold, and it'll come out just like that. And I usually just do one side and then I do the other side. And then this part, you know, you'll have, it'll just be just like your regular, you know, just like you do the rest of your hair. So this one, I know I'm a weirdo, but that's okay. I have to go this way so that I can get the right strokes on my marker. I don't know why I have such a hard time going the other way, but it is what it is. So essentially that's where my shadows are going to go. You just start from the center. I start from the center crease and move out, and then I put some on the inside. Now, if you wanted your shadow to be going this way, you know, towards the braid, then you would put more shadow on this side and less shadow here. But the shadows would still remain the same in the center. If you wanted shadow just on this side, kind of how I have it, you can see I have shadow from this point, and in the middle, but none on the sides. So, and then here, I'm just going to bring this out like a regular piece of hair. So I'm going to use R29 now that I've got it all mapped out. And I'm just going to go ahead and get this piece of hair here. And then I will go ahead and get the shadows of the braid. And because it is such a small area, I am doing really small flicks. I'm just getting the rest of the hair on the braid. And then I'm going to get this side because I'm making it to where there's no sun on that side. And then I'll get right here. And I'm going to get the rest of our hair. So I'm going to get everything right here next to the ear. Because the ear will always give a bit of shade. And then right here, you can tell this goes in front. And this is kind of flaring out. Same with that part. But I'm going to have to flip that part around. So I'm going to come up from the bottom here. See, get this piece. And then we're going to get from the top of the ear. And then get anything that looks like it should be shadowed.
Dawn says now I'm reminded of shrimp.
Of shrimp?
Mm-hmm.
Why shrimp?
I think maybe because of the braids. I don't know.
Dawn, you're making me hungry. So I'm going to get the very bottom of the braid.
She said, I think I'm just hungry.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm hungry too, but gosh, girl, I think you got me beat. I think I was hungry earlier and then I ate a whole bunch of salad. So I think I'm fine now. But Meadow asked me what I wanted for lunch earlier today, and I was like, well, I want this and this and this. And there was like a whole list of different things. And she just looked at me like a deer in the headlights. Okay. Oh, I'm good, thank you. Let's see, now I have our 17 that I'm going to use. And we're going to do the same thing, just pulling everything out. And it's just going to be practicing, you know, doing the thin flicks.
Dawn says, yeah, I felt like that. So many cravings lately. Maybe I just need another salad.
Let's see. It's funny, whenever I have cravings, like a load of cravings, I would say about 50% of the time, just eating a salad kind of solves it. But I don't do basic salads, so I mean, we had pecans, cherry or candied cranberries. Was it candied cranberries?
I have no idea.
I think it was just dried cranberries. Sesame.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it, because it was cranberries. I thought it was cherries.
No, I think it was cranberries. Maybe it was cherries. I don't know. It was dried something red. We had cheese. We had sunflower seeds. Of course, lettuce, carrots, some red cabbage, blue cheese dressing. We ended up putting some chicken in there. So it's kind of like a bathtub garden salad thing.
He says, sounds like my salads. That sounds so yummy, said Sharon.
It was very yummy. Okay, so now to get this side at the top. I almost feel like hair doesn't really come together until you get the contrast color in there. Now we're going to do R05. Just getting the white bits. I do tend to leave a little bit of white though until I do the contrast, just so that I can still have a little bit of the lightest color going through when I go over the contrast color. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and do the contrast color. Ugh. Definitely going to have to clean the lids on here. No, this is 59. So for the contrast on here, what I usually do with braids is I look which one is going over the top. And sometimes it's really easy to tell, sometimes it's not. So, but since this one here is kind of going over the top, I'm going to start on that side, and this is going to go, I'm going to go ahead and put a line here. And then of course a line right here. We're going to get a little bit of contrast flicks in there. And then this is coming back from the back side. So make sure we've got our line in there. So this looks like it's actually tucking in behind this. So I'm just going to take the contrast and go up on that. And then I will put some in right here at the ponytail. And then I can come backwards here. So with the ear, I'm just going to outline the ear a little bit. I can't do this. It's too thick. It's too thick. at least to me. So I'm going to go ahead and come down from the ear, and then right here, there needs to be some. Okay, get some contrast in there. Put a line here and a line right here. So, and then this is all coming forward. So I'm going to put a line in here and then pull it out a little bit. Okay, and then the crown of the head, of course, we'll put some in there. And then this right here, that needs to be a little bit darker, in my opinion. So, and then we'll put a line here to make this go back a little bit further. And there's that hair. And the R05, just to blend it out, give it a little bit more shadow.
Says love it.
Thank you. Okay, now for long hair, and then after long hair, we will be done just for today, just so we can go over and watch Brian, see what he has up his sleeve with some Crafty Stamp Co. items that he has. I can't wait to see what he does with them. So long hair, basically wherever there's a bend, there's going to be a little bit of a shadow. For me, it's the sometimes it's the blending where the bend goes. So I'm going to start out with my R05 so I can map it all out. So right here, there's going to be a shadow. I'm glad you like them. If there is, in the practice sheets below, if there is a hairstyle that I did not cover in the practice sheets, let me know, and we'll be going over these practice sheets probably the next couple weeks. I'll use red if we're just learning the hairstyle, and then we'll do color, like different colors and stuff like that too. So her hair, it kind of comes down, and then it's kind of straight, but then it kind of flows this way, kind of like it's in the wind. So right here is where there might be more shadow compared to the rest of her hair due to the bend. is right here. So, and we'll do our normal shadow here. You know, for the very top of her head. And then when it comes to curls like this bit will be a shadow. And then we'll do like a shadow here and here. And then this piece of hair is kind of bending in. So this is going to get some like shadow and some contrast right there. And then we'll put some shadow here. And I'm not worrying about like my strokes being short or fat or anything like that on this, because I'm just mapping out my shadows. So, and then like right here, this curl, will come up. So, and Sharon, didn't you start using Ohuhus? So you don't have to use these colors. This is good lessons because you can use whatever colors you want since we're just learning hairstyles. But you have Copics too, so let's see. So R29, I'm going to start out with that, but I'm going to flip her around because I'm going to start at the top of her hair. Just like this.
She says, I'm still swatching my Ohuhus and trying to work out color blends.
The color blends and the swapping, like stuff like that. I know, gosh, what's her name? Sandy Alnick. Yeah. She has like, which, she has the, which Copic color will be this color in Ohuhus and vice versa. And it's free over at her website. So I'm just going underneath this curl here.
She said just got her hex chart.
Oh, nice. Ziggy, stop. So getting underneath that curl and just pulling out some of that shadow. Now, the way that I do this part right here, because this part right here is the difficult part for me. So I find like the halfway point and I just go ahead and I do some thin flicks down. Okay, and then I turn it around. And like I said, you guys might not have problems with this, so if you don't, ignore me, but I do. And then I turn it around and I do the thin flicks back. So I don't know what my issue is, but apparently I can't do the flicks both ways and have it come out nice. So, and I'm going to go ahead, since I've got her upside down, I'm going to go ahead and do those ones. And then I'm going to come up a little bit I think I made that hair a little bit too thin. Get in there. And then I'm going to get this curl. Things always look so much bigger when you're drawing it out on a big old piece of, paper or an iPad or whatever you're drawing on. Okay, and then I'm going to go this way, get this curl. But this right here, so instead of having just the normal, we had on this one, we had the highlights go through the middle. And then we had a little bit of highlight on the edges, but it was mostly through the middle. But since this is, going swoopy, we're going to have a highlight through here and a highlight through here. So that's how the wavy curly or the wavy straight kind of hair is. So now I'm going to use R17 and I'm going to come up this way. Try not to go out of the lines too much. Okay, I'm not going all the way up. I'm still staying to where there's like a halfway. And then I will get this part here. Okay, and I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to get everything from the top side. And remember, even though if you think it looks bad, keep going when you're coloring because you don't know what it's going to turn out like. Meadow figured that out yesterday. She was not liking something that she was coloring, and then she walked away, went back to it the next day, and now she likes it. Was it the next day or just a little while later?
I think it was just a little while later.
Whoops, went out of the line. That's okay. Oops, that was our 17. And now R05. So just filling in the white bits now. I think that's one of the things I like about the very last color is you don't have to be careful where you're putting it. So I'm going to use R59. And I'm going to put a line right there, because that is definitely, pull that out a little bit. And then I'm going to put a line here. And we'll put in a little shadow here. And I'm going to put a line underneath this curl. and behind the curl right here. And I'm actually going to pull this out a little bit. And let's see, where is that curl going? It's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a line here. And then I'll pull that out a little bit. Whoop. I'm dying here. It's telling me to hurry up so we can go watch Brian. So this one I'm going to not put a whole lot in, but I am putting a little bit of contrast in. And I'm going to finish the line here and bring this out a little bit. So, and then I'm just going to put a little bit, oops, going to get real dark. Meadow's changing out my lights real fast. So just putting a little bit in there. I'm going to flip it around really fast. And now I'm going to do the contrast in the middle. Ooh, blinded by the light. Thanks, Meadow. You know what? That must have been going dark for a while because it's really bright now to me. It's like, whoo! God said, let there be light, and Meadow turned it on. So put a little bit of darkness there. And then we're going to get the contrast that's down here as well in the tips of her hair. I totally forgot that strand of hair. Oh my gosh. That's okay though. Okay, and we will get these little curls here. And that's going to come up. And we'll get the little lines in her bangs. And I'm going to put just a little here on the back. So, and we'll just get that in there, and then we'll go over that with the R05 again. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go back to the R05.
Megan says this has been really helpful and will be a great resource to come to.
I'm glad you like it, sweetheart. I just hope that's one thing that I like about sharing what I do so that I can hopefully help others or inspire others. This looks like a bit of a mess, though. I've gone out of the line so many times. Oh my gosh. So just blending out the R59, especially like right in here. Gonna get the rest of this hair because I obviously forgot about that. Okay, I gotta know who else colors and then forgets to do a part of whatever you're coloring. I've been doing that so much lately. What, Meadow? Meadow, she's does it. And you know what? I think I'm killing the R05, Meadow. Okay. There we go. So, and you can put as much, if you want it super dark, if you want it a little bit dark, whatever you want. But I always consider like doing long wavy hair like this, it's kind of like doing ribbon. Wherever the ribbon folds, that's where the shadow is going to be. So it's 6:11. Meadow, can you put in Brian's little @ channel, or Brian, if you're still here, can you put your little @ sign so everybody knows how to find you, so we can go over and watch you now.
It's BB Crafts and more, right?
Yeah. So we did this one first. We did the little ringlets. Let me zoom out a little bit so y'all can see these. There, Brian's got it. Oh, he's not in a mod. Not in a mod? What's a mod? Brian, you got to teach me. You got to teach me. Teach me, wise one. So we also did 80s hair. We did a braid.
It's a moderator.
Oh, gotcha. So, and we got that. And then we got the fuzzy curly hair. So we got lots and lots of hair tonight. Like I said, if there is a hairstyle that I did not, put in a practice sheet, let me know. We can still keep going over the rest of the sheets with the red so you guys can see how I color them. Oh, see, I didn't even, Brian, you're teaching me already. I did not even know that people had blue wrenches and could drop links. I had no idea.
Oh, is that like, that's what the little blue thing is next to people's names?
I guess so, yeah. Yep.
We are peasants.
Yes. Brian is my Obi-Wan of YouTube, going live. Teach me, oh, master. So we'll see, keep going over these. I think we went over quite a few. I didn't think we would be able to go through some of these. So we still have, the pulled back hair. We have messy ponytails. We have beards. He would look pretty awesome with a red beard, just saying. We have messy pigtails.
I said tap my name and tap moderator.
Let's see. Mood, no. Ah! This is awesome!
So what does that do?
I don't know, but we're going to find out because I just pushed it on Brian's name. So then we've got buns, we've got double buns, all kinds of buns, and ponytails. For me, on ponytails, it's these swoops that I have a hard time with. That's so cool, Brian! That's very cool. I didn't know we could do that. So, Meadow, next time you should look at that.
Nice.
That is amazing. Thank you, Brian. So next time you can log in as you, and we can put
links in there.
Yep, and we can make you a moderator. How cool is that? So we have loads. Let me know if you want different hairstyles, okay? And what come up with different colors. Like, what colors of hair do you want too? Because that would be very, very cool. So I have something to show you guys really fast, and then we got to get over to Brian's. So look at these cuties. I love these guys. I did these today. This is what it took me to do. So bad. So these are, is this blurry or is it because I don't have glasses on, Meadow?
It's a little blurry, yeah.
You don't have your glasses on either.
But I'm right here.
So, these are part of, so this one, let me move these out of the way. So this one, I love this one because it says be fursome. that is like my favorite sentiment that we did because I was like, fearsome could be awesome or it could be fearsome. So be fearsome. And I just had a load of fun with these. These stamps are going to be for our masculine May. Um, and we have one more. We have Grill Master. Do you have your Grill Master done?
Not completely colored.
It's not completely colored yet, but here's Meadow's Grill Master. But these are all exclusive to our masculine May. We're going to do lots of masculine cards and just have a good time. So, if y'all want to go to that, there is a link down below already. There's links down there. So you guys can register for the Masculine May event. It's going to be over a weekend. And we're going to make several, I think I'm dead. I think my battery died, so it's telling me to be quiet. So, but the link is down below and you will get you can order these stamp sets as part of your kit. So all the details are on the website. We will see you later. My battery died. I'm dead. So we will see you over at Brian's and we will see you next week for more hair. I will see you guys later. I love you all. Thank you for coming.